Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, my guest today is Jody Brody. Welcome to the show, Jody.
Hi.
Now, you're going to talk about cedar and lilac. First of all,
Yeah.
what is that? Sounds lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
What is cedar and lilac?
Yeah, Cedar and Lilac is a creation that I guess it's my creation. It encompasses a lot of things. So the foundation of it is my spiritual practice.
Mhm.
And then it's built upon that as offerings that I make for people that I sell at markets and online. Um, yeah, it encompasses a lot of things. It's a big question. It started with a really simple beginning. When I came to my spiritual practice, I wanted to use smoke as a way to connect with spirit. And when I first came to using smoke, of course, I was handed a bundle of white sage. And when I was using it, I didn't feel a connection. And so I was curious as to why, because I felt like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing this wrong? And so I did some research and some reading. That's kind of what I like to do, and I have questions. And I learned that white sage is indigenous to indigenous people. It's used in a sacred practice called smudging.
Yeah.
I am not indigenous. I come from a very Euro background, settler, colonizer ancestry. And so I wanted to use a smoke in my practice that was going to connect me in an authentic way back to my own ancestry. And I learned about seining, and seining is a Gaelic Celtic tradition where they use smoke and also water to bless their home, cattle, something they would have done like pre-Christianity. And they would have used juniper, which is a cousin tree to cedar. And so when I learned that, I worked hard and still do to have a relationship with the cedar trees here on this land that I'm a guest on.
Yeah.
And I use cedar tree smoke in my practice. And so that's how cedar came about. The very first smoke bundle I made was made with cedar and lilac from my lilac tree. I made bundles for myself, for my mom, for my sisters, for my friends, and that's how it started.
Ah, okay. So in your practice, like you do readings for people?
Yeah, I do lots of different things. So the first thing that I do is I make magical self-care notions, is what I call them. So I make smoke cleansing bundles and wands. I make ritual blends that can be used as incense or tea.
Okay.
I make simmer pot jars. I make a lot of different things that you can use in your practice in your own way. My whole like the whole idea is that I like to offer things to people so that they can create their own rituals, their own ceremony, their own sacred connection. So I have a huge garden, an avid forager. And so I like to do these things and I like to put all the things together and I like to offer them to people to use in their practice. So that's where that started. And over the years, I've done a lot of work within tarot. So I offer tarot readings. I do tea and tarot at my home, in my kitchen. And I also do them virtually as well for people who can't come to my house.
Yeah.
And I also have been doing my Reiki training. So I just finished my level 2 Reiki, and I'll be finishing my level 3 in June.
Oh,
So that's very exciting as well.
very good. Well, I used to do readings a long time ago. So I can,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I've never done Reiki. I've never didn't have that kind of interest, you know. Um, uh, Yeah, I'm just like I'm just reading through, some of your things and looking at it. It's like, we have people and friends in common, and we have a lot of things in common. So I thought, well, you would be an interesting person to speak to,
Oh, I appreciate it.
especially with, when it comes to the spiritual world. Um, I've had a number of experiences. I'm sure you have too, is now, right?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I just sat in circle for 12 weeks with Anne Larson, honing my mediumship skills, which was really life-changing. Yeah, there's so much exploration to do in this field
Mhm.
that I'm a Gemini, so I'm always on the hunt for knowledge, and
Okay.
I can dip my hands into many different things and then sometimes not finish them. So I'm trying to stay more focused, and the things that I'm learning, I am trying to like bring them all together into one stream and one path so that yeah, so that I can show up and be someone that can help someone on their journey.
So on an average, what type of, would you say, or if there is any type of person that would contact you or come to you to buy, whether it's at a market or online? Are they,
Yeah,
sorry.
I feel like everything that I have to offer is open to anyone who has an open mind. My own practice is based on curiosity, whimsy, play. It might be different than it's going to be different. It's going to look different for everybody. And I think that's the beauty of it is that the things that I offer are meant to be used in your own unique way. So anyone with an open mind that wants to experiment and play,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what they're for.
I'm wondering when, like, because this used to happen to me. Occasionally, somebody'd come for a reading, and they had they wanted to prove that what I did wasn't real. Like, do you get that type of thing?
Yeah, I that's okay. If
Yeah, I
someone
know it's
wants to
okay.
show
Yeah,
up that way, it's not going to be real for them
yeah,
because they've already decided.
yeah.
So that's okay if that's how it they want if that's how they want it to go for them. Um, I think that keeping an open mind is so useful in so many ways in our lives. Even if you're not a spiritual person, right? Like
I agree.
even if you're super logical and analytical, if you can keep an open mind, you're gonna lose so much stress in your life.
Yes, I just wonder why people like that do want to come to prove you wrong. I guess it's for their own satisfaction that, oh, well, I was right all along, sort of idea, which is
Yeah, they want to feed their ego,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yes.
So
A lot of that goes around.
yeah,
Now you're not from Chilliwack originally?
I am from Chilliwack. Yeah, I've lived here for 25 years. My family has been in Chilliwack for, let's see, my dad's 79, so like 73
Ah,
years.
okay.
So yeah, they've been here a long time. Yeah, so there's some roots here. Um, I have moved around a little bit. I've lived in Vernon, lived in Langley, but mostly been in Chilliwack over that 25 years. And then as a child, I grew up in Alberta, but my dad always lived here, so we came here all the time. And my Oma and Opa lived here, aunts and uncles. So yeah, Chilliwack's my home. It has always been home. Yeah.
Now in your practice, I guess you call it a practice, right?
Yeah.
Do you what is your relationship with Indigenous people?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So my relationship with Indigenous people is to be an ally for sure.
Mhm.
I am a guest on this land. I have, like I said, like almost 75 years of colonial settler immigrant roots here. And I'm pretty hyper aware of that connection. So like when I'm out in the forest here on Chilkoyak tribe land, I am taking great steps to be honorable, to make sure that anything that I take from the forest, I'm doing it within my own ritual and ceremony. I think it's really, really important to yeah, to come to the forest aware of my own colonial settler ancestry so
Right?
that I am not just there to take. I want to be there in connection with nature. Like that is the basis and foundation of my practice.
Nice.
Mother Nature saved my life. So I have deep seated gratitude and honor for that relationship. And so, yeah, I would say that I strive to be an ally and to uplift Indigenous voices and always open for questions. I recently had a woman asking me, like, are you Indigenous? Questioning what I was doing. I do community gatherings on the river. They're open to the public for anyone to come. And she was curious, I think maybe she thought I was Indigenous, which could happen.
Yeah.
But I'm really upfront. I am not Indigenous. I am a guest on this land. But the ceremonies are nature earth based. They're open to anyone. Indigenous people, of course, it's their land. Please come to the fire. And yeah, I've taken some courses. I took the reconciliation and allyship course through UFE last year. And I do a lot of like anti-racist work within my social media field.
Yeah.
But I know I can do more. There's always more to do.
Yeah, for sure. Good. But at least you're doing it, right? And that's the whole thing. I think like I'm
Yeah.
same wavelength as you are, I now have a number of First Nations friends, and I've learned that they are so spiritual and they are so open. The
Yeah,
ones.
I think the biggest thing that I learned through the allyship and reconciliation course, like everyone should take it, first of all.
Yes.
It was especially like colonizer settler people. It's so you learn so much. There's so much sharing and giving. The elders that facilitated and talked throughout the whole year it was just like so deeply meaningful, the teachings that they shared with us on just such a high level. And then the like big thing that I took from it was that's the point. Like we all want to be learning together, honoring this earth that we live on, and doing it in a way that's good. And Indigenous people of this land, especially the Stalo Nation, they have so much knowledge
Yes.
that we need to learn from, and we need to implement their ways so that we can protect this beautiful place that we live in.
Oh,
And that was sort of the whole thing that I took from it. And that they want to share and they want us to take those teachings and share them, with our families so that we all have a better connection to the land. It's the disconnect that
yeah.
makes it easy to hurt the land and take from it. So if we can all become better connected to it,
Yeah.
yeah, the world will be a better place.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it, our ancestors didn't do such a great job of taking care of things, did they?
They sure did not. They
The
sure
thing
did
is,
not.
I'm European descent, and I, as I learn, the more I read and talk to people of both, both, right? Is the more I realize like, oh yes, this what is they call it when you're white and certain things are just given to you because of the color of your
Oh, white privilege.
hair. Yes, that's
Yes.
the word, and we don't
Yeah.
realize how harmful that is to others.
Oh, yeah. Especially, yeah, because most of the time people with white privilege they're so in it, they don't see it.
Yeah.
And then when you contest them about it, they get so defensive. They're so stuck in it that they can't even talk about it. Yeah, coming to terms with our own ingrained white supremacy and white fragility and white privilege is really hard. It's a really uncomfortable process.
Yes.
And I wish more people would show up to do that work.
Yeah.
Because every time we get into those really deep, dark, uncomfortable places, there's so much room to grow and so much light to like come to that it's worth it. All of that hard, uncomfortable stuff that you need to face it's so worth it. And that's across the board in a whole life encapsulation. But yeah, starting with your own white privilege is a really good place to start.
Exactly. Change the topic again, because sorry, I like to do
Sure.
that. I had posted something on Facebook and you asked me a question about it.
Oh yeah.
And it was the animal spirit. I'm sure it was a spirit leaving its body. It's the only thing I could describe. And you asked me how old I was at the time. And I'm wondering why you asked that particular
Yeah.
question.
I asked it because I thought if maybe you were quite young,
Ah,
children are so open to seeing spirit that it would have made like I was like, oh, maybe she was like really young, and that's why it was easy for you to see the spirit leaving its body. And then as you got older, it got harder. But yeah, you were in your 50s, so it might have just been a moment when you were really open,
well,
you know?
Yeah, I've often seen, and I've talked about to an elder about this. I've often seen the spirits of cats and dogs. I used to see
Oh,
all the
wow.
time in my home as an adult, not as a child, as an adult. Because as a child, I lived in a very abusive environment, so you're not cognizant of all the things, or you're just trying to survive, so you don't see all that stuff,
Mm.
right? But as an adult, and when I explain this to an elder, um, his explanation, he says that, oh no, it started before that. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself.
Okay.
I had an Indigenous woman here in my home come to do an interview and when she left, I just felt this strong presence. And so I contacted her because I'm thinking she's going to think I'm a Looney Tune, first of all, but I asked her about it. She said, oh, well, her spiritual ancestors are always with her, always.
Mm.
Surprised that I felt that, especially after she left. So then I contacted somebody who was her mentor and a friend of mine on Facebook, and he explained that he believes, and it was reaffirmed with the animal thing, that I was given how did he explain it? I'm to be a link, partial in between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. That was the way he explained it to me.
Yeah. That's beautiful, Nancy.
Oh, I take it very seriously too. And then I went to, do you know Sister Jessie, Venerable Yin Kit? She's a Buddhist
I
nun.
don't know.
Oh, she's a Buddhist nun here in Chilliwack. Wonderful human being, absolutely
Oh,
wonderful.
wow.
She lives at Po Lam, which is where they're like she's a leader there, I believe. Her title. Now I've interviewed her many times. So the last time I went there, they have a rescue dog. And before I had gone there, a week before, I was seeing rodents, spiritual rodents, never saw that before, and it was unpleasant. So while I was there at Poland, they have a dog that they rescued. The dog, she's 4 or 5 years old. So I did the interview. Then Sister Jessie wanted me to take this, show me their meditation room. This dog kept blocking me and blocking me. And they said, her and her assistants, the dog has never ever behaved like that with anybody before.
Wow.
The dog stopped when I got to the meditation room. So when I got home, again, I contacted that elder who was a mentor, and he said, again, those animal and the dog has that ability. He was blocking something that was not good, that was evil or harmful to me, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I explain that to other people, like other white people or non-Indigenous people, and they don't get it. Somebody like you would get it because you live in that kind of open-mindedness, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I totally believe. Yeah, there's so much more here than we can just see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, this ended up being about me, not more about me than you. I apologize.
That's okay. I'm so happy to get to know you and I appreciate you sharing. And it's actually really normal that when I'm speaking with people that they want to share. So
Yeah. It just happens with certain people, right? There's just this
yeah.
certain kind of a connection, and yeah. Anyway, so for for your the things that you do, like whatever, how can people get a hold of you to find out more or whatever you do?
Yeah, sure. That's a really good question. So, because I'm a creative type, I haven't been able to uh figure out, I guess, how to make myself a website. So right now you can find me on Facebook at Cedar and Lilac, or
Okay.
you can find me on Instagram at cedar.and.lilac.
Okay.
Those are the two of my public profiles, but I am Jody Brody on Facebook. Brody is actually not my last name, but on Facebook, that's what it is. And I'm open to making new friends and making connections there as well. My Facebook page under Jody Brody is my personal page, so it's like family life a little bit on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's people in the community that want to reach out and be friends that way or make a connection that way, that's where you can find me. Instagram and my public Facebook page under Cedar and Lilac are where I do my sales.
Okay.
So you can just send me a message, you can book a spot, so I have like all of the things that I make in my home And typically people will like message me, you know, if they want a smoke cleansing one for like courage, for example. I have so many different ones. So I'll pull them all out that might have to do with courage, take photos or a video, and then they can choose that way. Sometimes I can set up appointments. I love having people come to my home. I love to have tea and meet new people. So yeah, just reach out. Like I'm super accessible, and also like to have my own time. So
Yes.
I'm not on my phone as much as I used to be in my like prior life, I would say. So yeah, so if I don't get back to you right away, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I'm just taking some time to not be on my phone. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And then I host these community fires, and that's a really good way for people to come out and meet other like-minded people. The first one that I did was I guess we've done a full year. So it was like Yule in 2023 or 2022. That's what it was. And we had like 5 people, and now most of the fires have between like 20 to 45 people.
Oh, nice. Very good.
It depends on the weather sometimes, but we go rain or shine.
Right.
The next one is going to be summer solstice. I haven't proposed the date yet, but it'll be around. We usually do it like the Saturday or Sunday, either before or after. And that's a really, really nice way for people to just come out. It's really casual. We do a ceremony where we set intentions and put offerings. The summer solstice one will be a water offering because we won't be able to have a fire. But yeah, it's just a really meaningful place where you can make connections. And you can just like hang out quietly, or you can get really involved. Like it's really about just showing up authentically is how you want to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I usually post about those in like the Chilliwack groups, post about them publicly, to get people to find out so they can come. And those are for anyone to come. So yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Well, I think I've covered everything. At least I hope I did.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome. Well, just stay on camera. So just to the audience, you've been listening to Jody Brody. I will include her Instagram site for you to check out. Or again, like she said, her personal page is on Facebook, so you can always contact her there if you don't get to.
Yes.
Like I personally don't do Instagram, but I know a lot of people do. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching the show. I hope you continue to do so. Take care and peace out. Somewhere, where's my heart? I think I missed my heart, but I know where it is. Anyway, thanks everybody. Bye for now.